Hey everyone, RogueGold here, welcome back to the Division 2. Today I'm coming back at you with some more Year 7 Season 1 PTS coverage. Again, for any of you who don't know, this is just the test server. This stuff will not hit the live game until next month in May. Today, however, I wanted to take a look at the new weapon talent that is on offer for Year 7 Season 1 because, yeah, it has got people up in arms, basically saying that if it goes into the live game like it is presented here, it will instantly replace the vast majority of other talent options and build setups, at least at, higher end play where this stuff really matters. What it boils down to is that people are saying that the current implementation of this new talent is wildly strong. So I went into the PTS, tested it out, gauged some of my feelings, and what I want to do in this video is report to you all my findings and let you know what I think of it. So hopefully that sounds good. If you enjoyed this video and you want to see more stuff on the PTS and everything else on the Division 2, then I hope you will consider clicking that subscribe button. As you know, I got a lot more coming your way, but let's waste no more time and get right to it. Alright, so something very important to note that I like to try and do at the start of any of my PTS videos. PC is not my main account for the Division 2, meaning on this PTS character, I do not have any expertise levels, I have no shade levels, I don't have my ideal specialization. So when you look at this gameplay and you see my analysis, just know that you are going to be able to do much more with these things on your main accounts. And yeah, that is unfortunately just a restriction that I have when I cover this stuff on the PTS. Alright, so here is the new talent in question. It is called Streamline and it reads, receive 80% weapon damage when no skills are on cooldown. Yeah, you heard that right, 80%. There is also a perfect version of this talent. It comes on both a SOCOM MK16 as well as a converted SMG 9A2. That version gives you 87%, but we're not even going to be tackling that version in this video. We just are looking at the baseline version of Streamline. Now, before we get back to some raw gameplay with this thing, which I think in many ways speaks for itself in terms of the strength of this talent, just to really underscore this, I wanted to show you all some direct shooting range comparisons. Now, this is the build that you're going to see used in all of the footage for this video. I would say it's a pretty solidly constructed damage build. In the following clips that you're going to see, all I've done is rolled out Streamlined for Optimist on my primary weapon. Otherwise, everything else on the build and all of the other stats are exactly the same. So here is the performance with Optimist. I am starting this out with maxed out Striker and Obliterate stacks. I'm shooting headshots on this named NPC. And what you'll see here is that I start out my clip by hitting towards the high 500,000s for critical hits. And then I'm getting into the 700,000s by the end of the magazine once Optimist is ramping up in terms of its power. Also keep in mind that because I'm using an assault rifle, once I get to the health segment, my damage ramps up by a lot because of the health damage that those weapons come with. But that's the general performance we're looking at, like average of 600,000 crits to the head. So got an idea of that? Okay. Here is the Streamlined performance. As you will see, it immediately starts out in the mid 800,000s in terms of headshot crits on a named NPC. I mean, what else is there to say? This should be an immediate indicator of how strong this talent really is. It's insane. So now I will just run some more gameplay in the background here while we talk. And in this specific case, maybe it is actually beneficial that I don't have any shade levels or expertise on this character, because if I hadn't told you that and you didn't know any better, you might believe that this is like a well-geared and progressed in-game character. My build is very solid, yes, but utilizing Streamlined, I am just chewing through these enemies on Heroic. So, what are my thoughts? Well, you all know me, or maybe you do if you've watched for a little while, but I am not afraid to say when I think something is too strong and needs a bit of a nerf. Although I know it is not everybody's opinion, I personally like it when looter shooters attempt to keep an overall balance, retain viability for many different build types. But we're almost having an entirely different conversation here because Streamlined is a case of its own. It's not just that it's too strong, but it outperforms what we're accustomed to with some of the other better talent options with basically no second thought. Now here's the silver lining in this though, in my opinion. The talent concept-wise is fine, right? It has a very defined trade-off where you get this huge spike of damage, but that is only if you are not using your skills, or at the very least while they're on cooldown, you will get no extra damage, right? You essentially don't have a weapon talent for that period of time. The issue though is that these days in the Division 2, that is relatively easy enough to do. If you're worried about survivability, you could run something like an armor regen build or armor on kill, or frankly, like you're seeing me do in these clips, you could just run an all red build, utilize cover. You could even pair it with the new smart cover skill that we're getting with the DLC this season. So conceptually, not being able to use your skills to get this spike in damage is a worthy trade-off, but in its current implementation, in my opinion, it's simply just too strong. I don't know what this would calculate out to percentage-wise, right now it's giving you 80%, but I feel as though giving you a damage value that makes this about equal to when you are 2/3 or 3/4 of the way through your Optimus stacks would be ideal, right? It's fair to get this thing a pretty high starting point, but when maximizing their efficiency with talents like Optimus or Strained, these other talents should still be able to compete, in my opinion. Because if this Streamline talent goes into the game as it is presented right now in the PTS, why would you not use this? I intentionally slapped on 2 skills to the build that I would be not encouraged to use. I put on, what was it, like the sniper turret and an oxidizer chem launcher, and I didn't use either of those once in my playtime, meaning that Streamline had a 100% uptime. And in many ways, that is actually kind of reductive towards the ideal Division agent gameplay in Fantasy, when this talent is actively encouraging you not to engage with your skills. Now, directly nerfing the damage value is not their only option. If they wanted to go one step further, they could add a few different layers to the talent, give it like tiers of different bonuses akin to the Barrett's Fist exotic from the Division 1. On that piece, they made it so that you got certain bonuses when both of your skills were not on cooldown. Then if you had used one skill, there was a certain bonus. 2 skills was another. But do I think they're going to do that? Probably not. I think we all know the simple solution here. 80% damage on this is just insanely high. I'm not calling for this thing to be nerfed into the ground. I never like to do that. I want all of these different options in the game to be viable, but bringing Streamlined in line with the other talents that we know and like to use just seems fair to me. But my friends, that is just about all I have for you. I wanted to break down and share my thoughts on this new Streamlined talent that we are seeing in the Year 7 Season 1 PTS. I would love to get some of your guys' thoughts on this new talent, whether or not you are on PC and have played the PTS and used this for yourself, or you're just watching coverage like this. What do you think about Streamline's performance? Do you think it needs a nerf? Do you think it's maybe fine as is? I'll be very curious to know people's thoughts on that one. That is going to do it for me today though, everybody. Stay tuned for more PTS coverage coming throughout the weekend, but until then, thank you all so much for watching. RogueGold. Out.